Morning, we are taking a closer look at the Johnson & Johnson coronavirus vaccine. The company will soon file for emergency use authorization from the FDA. Joining us live to talk more about this vaccine is Dr. Jason Littleton. It is always good to see you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How are you, Danielle?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I have been doing a lot of reading on these three now vaccines that are available. There is so much to consider now, doctor, with this particular vaccine, one of which is it only requires one dose. Why does it only take one dose versus the other two with the other companies?
Well, this is a different type of vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is a double-stranded DNA vaccine incorporated in an adenovirus. And the adenovirus is the virus that is actually involved with the common cold that we see. So what we're doing here is that what Johnson & Johnson did is they incorporated a piece of the genetic code that codes for the spike protein in the double-stranded DNA of the adenovirus. And when a person gets that one-dose shot, the body will produce a spike protein that the antibodies that we create will react to. So here's the thing. One dose is a great thing because now if you have a billion doses, a billion people get vaccinated. And so more people can get vaccinated and we can drive down the prevalence.
All right, so here's the thing, though, about this particular Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The overall effectiveness of this vaccine is 66%. The other two are higher. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, is it as effective as Moderna and Pfizer's vaccine overall? Because those are in, what, the 90 percentile range, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what I want to do here is bring some perspective with that. So the 66%, this Johnson & Johnson vaccine, what they did is they tested it among 60,000 people, whereas the Moderna about 30,000, whereas the Pfizer about 40,000. And the Johnson & Johnson actually incorporated some of the new variants. You know, in moderate to severe disease, we found that in the U.S. it was about approximately 72% effective. In South America, it was about 66% effective. And in South Africa, about 57% effective. So what we know is that in the South Africa trial, some of that new variant from South Africa was incorporated, whereas the Moderna and Pfizer didn't incorporate that. So we can assume that the percentage with the Moderna and Pfizer will actually be driven a lot lower, especially when it's being used with some of the new variants that are arising. So we have to include that. And that's one of the things I really like about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine trial is that they have tested against some of these new variants. And I think that makes a difference. At the same time, it drives down the effectiveness. So we have to look at that and take that into account.
All right. So here's my other question. I was thinking about this over the weekend is that let's say you get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, right, which is overall less effective right now than the other two. Could you supplement that with one of the other vaccines, the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or could you get 2 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? Would that increase the effectiveness?
No, so that's not recommended. You know, we want people to stay in line with the same vaccine that they received. So if someone received the Moderna, you want to continue to get that second dose of the Moderna. If someone received the Pfizer, you want to get the second dose of the Pfizer. And if you get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you just need one dose unless they come out with a booster shot. And I think that the Moderna and the Pfizer will be less effective in the setting of these new variants that are going on. Again, we know that the South African variant was found in South Carolina. We know that recently in Orange County that the new variant that we just saw was from the UK was found. And I think these things are actually more prevalent. You need another set of testing to actually see how widespread these variants are. And that's a whole nother set of income that has to be put into the economy to do this extra testing. It's not always done. So I think there are more variants out there. I think the people who are getting the vaccines, it's going to be effective, but we don't believe that it's going to be as effective as it initially was mentioned, that 95%, that 96%. But people should still get the shot. It's better than not getting the shot. But we have to understand that efficacy can be driven down with these new variants.
Great information. Dr. Jason Littleton, as always, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Jamie.
Danielle.